Okay, welcome. This is James Possible, and this is another Let's Talk video. The topic today is holding, and there are things going on with Karatbars, and it only makes sense because we're talking about gold. We're talking about money and people purchasing gold for their future and stuff. I mean, there are things legally that it looks like they're going to have to take care of, and I believe they are taking care of it. Um, but here's the thing, and this doesn't change how I feel about the project. This is really where I'm at in this moment, and I know this video might be taken wrong by a lot of people, and that's unfortunate because it's not meant in a derogatory way. This is just simply me doing me. This is me sharing me. If I cannot share with you what I'm actually thinking, what I'm actually feeling, then there's really something wrong with what I'm doing. My word, my integrity, the trust I have with people, to me, is extremely valuable. And in today's world, it just doesn't seem like that's a real, it just doesn't seem like it's really valued as much as it used to be. Literally, $1 million deals used to be done on a handshake. And I don't know what to say. I could start talking about Wall Street, and I could start talking about crypto coins, and I could start breaking all that down, and how they, in 2007, 2008, how it was the derivatives that actually created the bubble, and how that once again we're back in this thing where they're creating new derivatives, and we're right back where we were. But I don't really want to get into all that because that's really not the topic today. But I might talk about that in a later video. Holding right now, that's where I am. I'm in a holding pattern when it comes to my Karatbars account. So I want to see some things happen. Incentives are changing, packages are changing, dates have moved enough for me that it's time for me to wait. And you get to make your own decision on that. But I'm sharing with you what I'm doing. And again, I know this is going to really upset some people, but you know what? I have to do me at the end of the day. And that's all I care about. I'm the one that has to go to bed with myself. I'm the one that has to walk through the day thinking about what I've done. And, this is where I'm at. The project, I am an absolute fan of the Karatbars project. By design, it is one of the most elegant things I've ever seen. And I want to be really clear. It was the ecosystem, like this whole system, that attracted me to Karatbars. The gold was interesting, but it wasn't the big deal. And unfortunately, for a lot of Karatbars people, the gold was the number one thing. And it's a tough thing because, so I'm probably going to upset people in a couple different ways. So I want to make this really clear. I'm really big on distinctions because I'm somebody who really cares about what I say, what I write, and whether or not I'm understood or not. And I think what I have found that one of the most powerful ways to have clarity is to have used distinctions. And the first distinction that comes to mind for me is how do I want to say it? Scam versus fraud. Fraud versus inexperience. And I think this is where the internet community gets it all screwed up. Starting a business is just an average business. And getting it up to where you're actually covering your expenses and able to take money out of the business and support yourself, that's not the simplest of tasks. Now, and that's just like even just a service business where you don't even have products to sell and stuff like that. It even drop shipping, if you really get down to it, sourcing products, researching which products to use, getting it in there. There are so many places for a business to break. And unless you've ever been in there with both feet, there's no way to really understand what I'm saying. But when you're in business, when you have your own business, and unfortunately most people who have a business, and this is me as well, because there were things that I didn't get, and I learned them late. So many businesses, quote businesses, are sole proprietorships. In Europe, I think they call them traitors, where they just work for themselves. And really all they've done is they've gone from working for a boss in a corporation or a business to working for themselves as a boss. So they still have to put in the hours trade hours for money. And that doesn't work. If you're not, it just doesn't work. And I could get into that, but that's just too much for this particular discussion. So let's get back to the scam, the fraud, and inexperience. And this is what I see. There's a lot of people that use the word scam really easy. And what I hear when they use that word, I hear them say fraud. But fraud's an interesting thing. I don't think there's as many frauds as you hear the word scam. I think there's a lot of well-intentioned people that fail to put the pieces together. And the thing is when your risk to return becomes so big, and you know it in your head. See, now, here's the reality. There's no way not to know that something feels too good to be true. And if you jump in on something like that, and you get mad because it doesn't go your way, it's not the business that's a fraud. It's your mind that's the scam, because you're wanting something for nothing. And yeah, I get this is going to piss some people off. And you know, okay, so what? I have to look at that with myself as well. Every conversation I have in these videos is just as much with myself as it is with you. So I'm okay. If you want to really talk about it, I'll have a real discussion. But if you want to hate and flame and, you know, I won't talk with you. But I'm really open to a real conversation. And I get it, because desperation is a very real reality in our world today. But let's talk about, just for a second, why is desperation such a real thing? Well, it's because of all this fiat money, this fake money. It has so little value in it that from year to year, we end up working harder and harder for the same amount of money. But yet, we're not able to purchase the same amount of goods and services every year. So we're working harder, we're making about the same money, at least it looks like we are, but yet we can't purchase the same things today that we were able to purchase a year ago with the same amount of money. And if you don't understand how this is all happening and playing out, which is a big part of why I do these videos, if you don't understand that, there's something in your gut, somewhere you know something's not right. And so desperation can make a person think and act in ways that just judgment goes out the window. And I'm a trader. I trade the Forex markets. I may start trading currencies, cryptocurrencies more, but right now really I'm a Forex trader. And the traders I know, the big traders, like way above me, that have had huge, like, you know, $500,000, $1 million losses and stuff like that. Their judgment got out of whack. They didn't check themselves. And it happens to all of us, right? And so they're really, it doesn't surprise me that incentives are being changed with Karatbars. Because let's be real, they were pretty extreme. So I'm not really even sure what they are right now. Like I said, I'm a hold. I've got my business. I'm taking care of my business right now. I put a lot of things on the side to work on Karatbars. However, with everything that's happening, just right now, I feel my time is better suited focusing on my business. And yeah, so the scam, I think, points more to the person than it does the business. Then comes the question of, is it a fraud or not? Well, that's a tough one to answer, right? But here's the great thing about Karatbars right now. We have regulatory agencies that are stepping in and saying, look, this is what you got to do. And from what I'm understanding, Karatbars is working with those authorities, regulatory authorities, to work things out. Which I think, if they can get it worked out, is a very powerful thing for Karatbars. it says huge things about Karatbars. But I think where we're at with Karatbars is inexperience. Because this whole ecosystem, first of all, it's blockchain technology, which is a new technology, even though it's 10 years old, but it's still new. Voice over blockchain, which is absolutely new. There's so many pieces about this. Like, I've done enough stuff on my own in my lifetime that I can share with you that I have typically been the person that would ready, fire, and then aim. In other words, I just went for it. And I trusted that I could figure out all the pieces going forward. Well, here's the challenge. I'm guessing that this is some of what's going on with Karatbars. Harold Seitz definitely has a vision, like a big vision. And when you have those kind of visions, you just go. You don't think about how, you just go forward with it. And sometimes all the pieces don't come together the way you think they should. So you start down this path, the first path, and you envision certain steps. And so you start down that path, but then you hit an obstacle. And it may be that, okay, well, you thought that technology would work a certain way, but you see that there's something you got to change. Now you're on another path. You start working down that path, and then you hit another hurdle, and you keep going. And the whole thing is a learning process. But inexperience doesn't justify being called a scam. It doesn't justify being called a fraud. Inexperience is inexperience. We're simply trying to figure it out as we are going in action, right? Because Karatbars, from what has been shared, is a debt-free company. Now, think about that. Okay, this is the crazy thing. And businesses don't operate like that today. They would rather leverage themselves up, make a run at it, and if it fails, just file bankruptcy and screw everybody that helped them along the way. That's real. That happens a lot. But Karatbars is debt-free. And I'm going to break that down here. Let me jump into a browser. Okay, so I have Amazon sales pulled up, their annual sales. In 2018, Amazon had domestic sales, and domestic being the U.S., $7.2 billion. So a billion is 9 zeros. Really think about that. So we could just drop the 2. We just say $7 billion. So 7 followed by 9 zeros. Now let's pop over here. Karatbars annual revenue in 2018, 100 million euros was their turnover, which is impressive. It's a lot. However, and that's euros, so it's a little bit more in US, and that's fine. It's close enough to the same. So 100 million. So what are we talking about here? We're talking, that is a 1 followed by 8 zeros. So we had 9 zeros. So to get from there, to get from 100 million to 7 billion, so think about this. 100 million to 7 billion. So there's 10 100 billions in every billion. Am I saying that? Yes, I'm saying that right. So that is 70. So Amazon is 70 times in sales the size of Karatbars. 70 times. That's huge. And so, but Karatbars has a vision that's as big as Amazon. And they're working to do that on a fraction of that money. So that can create some challenges in itself. And that's okay. I understand that. I'm not going to hold that against them. I'm not going to hold any of it against them. I'm just saying right now, objectively, I have to hold because I want to see some things roll out. I understand that the cash gold is finally starting to go out to the CEM machines. I mean, I want to see that. I understand the phones are supposed to be coming out, but I don't know when. And so I just want to see some things. The physical things. Like the CEM machine is wonderful, but a CEM without cash gold, not so wonderful, right? The phone sounds amazing. The technology sounds amazing. But no phone, that's not amazing. I want to see the hard fork completed. I just want to get past the hard fork and into the next phase of Karatbars. As far as the K merchants, I know there's people out there that have K merchants using it and stuff, and great. I just want to see those things happening. So for me, objectively, that's where I'm at. I'm on hold. I haven't lost faith in the project. I just feel, for me, there are things I want to see happening. I'm not a GD3, and I don't have a stream of income coming in, so I cannot afford to wait. I just can't. And I have to be real with that. Just like when I'm trading, I have to really look at all my trades. There's risk. Risk isn't just about money. It's also about time. How long am I going to have to stay in this trade to realize my profit, right? And so, to me, Karatbars is, it's I'm putting money into this, and I have shared it, and I do have some people that have signed up with me and such. But that's not the point. The point is, I want to see more right now. I've never been a rah kind of guy. And so now I'm waiting. I'm in a holding pattern. And yeah, so that's just where I'm at. And if what I've shared upsets anybody, I don't know what to say. This is just where I'm at right now. And I'm basically saying, if you have concerns and stuff with anything that you're doing, you have to be real with yourself first. Absolutely. It's your money, it's your time, it's your future. And you have to be real with yourself. following along and being rah-rah and all that stuff isn't being positive, especially if you feel differently internally. I really want you to hear that, because you're basically lying to yourself if that's what's going on. And you don't have to be, come off defeated or anything like that if you have doubts. Have the doubts. Think about your options and then choose accordingly. But I see a lot of people get really, really upset, and there's this sense of entitlement to certain, if everything does play out well with Karatbars, and I feel like they are working to make everything happen, it's a gift. It's absolutely a gift. The KBC coin, the KCB into the KBC coin, all of it, that stuff's a gift. If it plays out and it works, it's a gift. And so many people I hear speak of it as if they are owed that outcome, and you're not owed that outcome. He's working. It's again, it's back to that business, right? Inexperience, new technology, learning how to put all the pieces together. It's a huge project. But if you compare it in scale to Amazon, well, if Karatbars is going to grow to that level or close to it, even half the level of Amazon, think about that. That's 30 times bigger than they are. There's a lot of things happening to make that happen. And that's not an easy transition. So none of it's going to be smooth. And if it does roll out, guess what? You have an opportunity here. You're at the beginning of this thing, this economy, this something that no government will ever create for you and I. And so I'm holding. I'm not out, but I'm holding. I want to see some things happen. And I don't think that's being unreasonable. That's just where I am. And I guess I'm sharing this because I know some people are feeling these things and are just not sure. And you got to trust yourself. Trust yourself. You don't go in deeper into a trade when you have doubts about the trade. You just don't. Not unless you're trading something that you know very, very well. And here's the thing about trading. A trader who is consistently profitable over time, what do? They trade high probability setups. They trade what they know. And again, I'm not up here with Karatbars. I'm only into this a few months. So I'm excited to be here. I'm excited with the potential of the project. It's just right now, I'm on hold because I want to see some things happen. Objectively, I just want to know that Karatbars can deliver on the commitments they've been making. And I look at these regulatory things as I don't see them as negatives. I see them as positives. I see them as their small corrections, right? Because I can't imagine globally all the regulations that accompany doing what Karatbars is wanting to do, what they would have to face. And it's really easy when you're smaller not to be noticed, right? But once you begin to become noticed, then people start to pipe up. People start to pay attention. And that's when the regulators start to step in. It makes sense. But that's nothing that I can work out. So I'm not going to be upset about that. That's for them to work out, right? And so I'd rather see the regulators come in early than later. And trust me, we are still so early in this project that it's a welcome thing to see. Now, there's still going to be, understand that the videos that I shared, there's still going to be regulatory pressure that has no validity, because it's big players like central banks and people like that pushing back. I also know that's going to happen too. So what I'm saying there is, it's not going to be the smooth road. There are going to be challenges, because 100 million in a global world isn't really that much. Once you start touching on your first billion, now you're at a place where you can begin to affect other people with money. You begin to change their revenue streams, and that's a big deal, especially if it's your money that you see, especially if it's your revenue that you see going down, and you know that they're the reason for it. So competition is definitely going to play a role in this project as the project matures. There is no easy path on this. There's technology hurdles, there's distribution hurdles. I mean, the complexity of this project is huge, and I get it. But right now, I want to see some tangibles, some real hard deliverables. And I'm thrilled to hear that Cash Gold is starting to be delivered to the CEM machines. But I want to see the phones. I just do. Had I been in Karatbars 6 months earlier, before I got in, I probably would have had a lot of people into the phones, because the technology is crazy cool. But that's not where I am, right? I didn't come in that early. And so now I just want to see some things. I think that covers it. I think that's about all I can really say. If you I didn't really write this well. It scratch all that. Just really, if you want to share some thoughts with me, just text me. Use the word hold, HOLD, and we can talk. We can chat a little in text. Now, I don't want to get crazy with that, because I do receive a lot of text messages, but I'd like to hear your thoughts as well. Again, I have no animosity or anything like that. It's just where I have to be objectively. And so until I see some things, which does that mean that I'm probably going to miss some bonuses? Yeah, it does. But I'm okay with that, because if there's really a future with Karatbars, this 30 days or whatever it takes to get through the hard fork, 40 days, I don't know, whatever it is. If I have to wait that long to have my confidence, I'm okay with that. There's something wrong with the project if waiting 40 days to see some 40, 50 days, whatever it is, to see. There's something wrong if you're being told that waiting is the worst decision you could make. I don't like high pressure. And so with everything the way it is right now, I'm in the holding pattern. And like it or not, this is me. This is what I'm doing. And you can take a different path. That's okay. That's on you. It's not on me. I have to do me. And part of doing me is me being upfront with you right now with what I'm thinking and where I'm at. I'm going to keep doing videos, but I'm probably going to be talking about some other aspects, some trading things and stuff like that. This would be a perfect opportunity if you do want me to walk you through the trading aspects of Karatbit. I've had a few people say yes. Let me know with this text, because I'm very interested in doing that. Like I said, I've shifted my focus back to my business. I got to take care of some things. I got to make sure I have income. And yeah, so I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear what you're thinking, what you're experiencing. Again, I love the concept of the project. I just want to know now that they can actually deliver on some parts of this project that are they're key aspects of the project. I want to know that they can deliver on those. That's it. So you can text the word hold to 405-293-8388 and share with me your thoughts, questions, whatever, and we can go from there. If I get a lot of the same questions or thoughts, I'll happily share them in another video. Okay? I think it's really important that we have an open dialogue, because if we can't have an open dialogue, then there's something wrong. But I'm not going to get into a hateful dialogue. I'm not going to get into a conversation with somebody who wants to be hateful towards me. I'm just not. So if that's the tone you're going to have with me, just be prepared up front. You're not somebody I'm going to talk with. But if you want to have a real conversation, I'm all for it. But there's nothing you can do to change where I'm at. And you've got to understand that. I'm not trying to be right or wrong here. I'm simply telling you where I'm at. I don't really care, and I don't mean this in a mean way. Wherever you are, that's on you. You've got to own that yourself. You've got to take responsibility for that. This is me taking responsibility for me. My actions, where I feel comfortable. And yes, I've literally shut down some discussions I've been having with people because of where I'm at. Integrity. My word's worth something. My integrity's worth something. And this is me taking care of those things. I'm not in this for a quick buck. I'm in this for a long-term project. I'm in this for a long-term game. I'm in this for a future that's a financial future that has meaning, that has value to me and my family. my friends and the other people that have joined me. I'm not in this for a quick buck. If all you want is quick buck, I think you're in the wrong place personally, but that's on you. There are no quick bucks. Not for doing nothing. They're not out there. But if you think they are, then by all means, just keep on looking for them. I've done a lot of things in my life, but I have yet to see anything where a quick buck is real. So you can also text me the European if you're outside of the US and Canada. The country code is +44 number 114-360-7261. Again, country code +44 114-360-7261. Again, I've told you previously, the European thing is not working out as great as I was hoping it would. I do still have to research that, and I will. It's just not a high priority right now. If you can still text me at 405-293-8388, and I will get the text. If you want to include your email or something, then I can reach out to you via email. That'd be great. I can absolutely do that. But I think that's it. I think I've said all I needed to say. There's a lot of details in there that I would love to go into, but shoot, this is me being very truthful and heartful with you guys, and way too long, I'm sure. I mean, I don't know how many of you are actually going to make it through this, but for you that did listen all the way, I appreciate it, and I hope you got some value out of it. Because all I know to do is be me. And as a result, I mean, I have people that reach out to me all the time, and the number one thing I hear back from them is they trust me. That's what this video is about today. I would not have felt good if I just went silent. So, this is James Possible. You know what to do. I look forward to your thoughts, your questions, and wherever I can, I'll happily respond to them. And if I have to do it in the video because I get so many, then great. And I absolutely enjoy the fact that I've gotten to know some of you who have reached out to me. It's nice because it's so easy to be in this world where you're all alone when you do this online stuff. And so it's nice to connect with people who have similar goals and objectives. So thank you. I appreciate that. You know what to do. I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.